New York had a way of turning ordinary nights into something unforgettable. Maybe it was the light, always shimmering, always restless, or maybe it was the way the city felt alive even when the world slept. For Adrian Cole, a 27-year-old photographer new to the city, New York was supposed to be just a place to restart his career after failing in Los Angeles. But fate had a different plan for him. A plan written in fire. A plan written in her eyes. It started on a freezing December evening. The sky was already dark by 5 p.m., and Times Square pulsed with neon colors, painting the cold air in shades of electric blue and burning red. Adrian walked through the crowd, camera hanging around his neck, breath fogging in front of him. He took pictures of strangers laughing, taxis splashing through puddles, and giant billboards glowing like man-made stars. But then he saw her, standing at the center of Times Square as if she had been placed there by destiny. A girl, no, a woman, maybe 23, wearing a long cocoa brown coat, black boots, and a scarf wrapped around her neck. Her dark hair spilled onto her shoulders, catching the lights like silk threads. But it wasn't her clothes, or her hair, or even her perfect stillness among the moving crowd that drew Adrian in. It was her eyes. They shone with a fierce, burning intensity, full of emotion and mystery. He had never seen eyes like that, bright, sharp, alive. Fire in human form. For a moment, he forgot to breathe. His heart punched hard inside his chest. Who was she? Before he could think, his camera lifted automatically. Click. She heard it. She turned, and their eyes met. A jolt of electricity rushed through him. It wasn't just attraction, it was recognition. As if their souls had crossed paths before. Her eyebrows lifted slightly, surprised but not angry. In fact, she almost smiled. Almost. Then she walked away. Through the crowd. Fast. Wait. Adrian's voice got swallowed by the noise of Times Square. He lowered his camera and pushed through the people, trying not to lose sight of the girl with fire in her eyes. She moved like she belonged here, confident, determined, weaving effortlessly through the city chaos. Adrian followed, though he felt silly hunting a stranger. She paused at the crosswalk. For a second, he thought he lost her. But then she turned her head, just slightly. Enough to show she knew he was behind her. And enough to let him see that half smirk on her lips. Not running from him, almost inviting him. The light turned green, and she crossed. Adrian followed. She walked toward 7th Avenue, then took a turn into a quieter street lined with small restaurants, bookstores, and cafes. The kind of street that felt hidden from the typical New York noise. Finally, she stopped in front of a tiny cafe called Moonlit Corner, decorated with warm yellow lights and small frosted windows. She opened the door and walked in. Adrian hesitated only a second before he followed. The cafe smelled of chocolate, cinnamon, and warm pastries. Soft jazz music floated in the background. She was standing at the counter now, ordering something, still ignoring him, but not truly ignoring him. Her posture was calm, but her eyes, those fire-lit eyes, kept glancing at the reflection in the glass, checking if he was still there. He was. When she finally received her drink, she stepped aside and looked straight at him. "Are you going to keep following me?" she asked, "or are you planning to take more pictures without asking?" Her voice was warm, melodic, teasing. Adrian almost dropped his camera. Sorry. I didn't mean to be creepy. Your eyes caught my attention." A pause. Then a soft, amused laugh. "My eyes. Yes," he said honestly. "I've never seen anything like them." She tilted her head slightly, examining him the way he examined photos, slowly, thoughtfully. "All right then, photographer," she said. "Buy me a coffee. That's the price for stalking me across Times Square." Adrian smiled for the first time that evening. "Deal. What's your name?" She sipped her drink before answering. "Alara. And you?" "Adrian." They chose a small booth near the window. Outside, the city glowed like a living painting. Inside, the cafe felt like a hidden world. Alara placed her elbows on the table, chin resting on her hands. "So, Adrian the photographer, do you always chase strangers through New York?" "Only the ones who look like they've stepped out of a dream," he replied. She raised an eyebrow. Smooth. It was honest. This time, she didn't hold back her smile. And wow, she was breathtaking when she smiled. A warm, bright curve lifting her face, softening her fire into something more beautiful. "Why were you standing alone in Times Square?" he asked. "Why were you?" she countered. He chuckled. "Fair enough. I was taking pictures. Trying to make something meaningful." "Are you a famous photographer?" "I used to think I would be," he admitted quietly. "But life doesn't follow plans. She nodded slowly. I know that feeling. Really? What do you do? Alara looked down at her cup. I'm a dancer. Or, I was. I'm not sure now. I injured my ankle 3 months ago. Can't perform. Can't audition. Doctors say it'll take time. Her voice carried pain, but also strength. So I come to Times Square sometimes, she continued, just to watch people. To remind myself the world is still moving. And today, Adrian said softly, I moved toward you. She laughed again, shy, this time. Her eyes softened, but the fire was still there. They talked for hours. About dreams. About disappointments. About New York. About the feeling of being lost and still moving forward. The cafe emptied slowly. Snow began falling outside, coating the streets with white dust. Midnight approached, but neither of them wanted to leave. When they finally stepped out, the snow had covered everything in silence. New York felt softer, magical. Alara wrapped her coat tighter. I should go home. Which direction? He asked. West. Toward 11th. I'll walk you. She hesitated, but only for a heartbeat. Okay. They walked side by side, close enough for their arms to brush, sending small shivers through both of them. The night felt like it belonged only to them. After a few blocks, she stopped near an old brick apartment building. This is me. Adrian nodded. I'm glad I followed you. She looked at him, her breath fogging in the cold air. You're strange. But, I'm glad too. A quiet moment. A magnetic moment. Snowflakes landed on her eyelashes, making her look unreal. Her eyes, God, fire and softness both lived in them. Adrian, she whispered, can I ask something? Anything. Can you show me the photo you took? In Times Square. He hesitated. It felt intimate, but he handed her the camera. She looked. Her breath caught. The photo was perfect. Her standing still while the world blurred around her, city lights swirling like magic. And her eyes, just as he had seen them. Alive. This, she swallowed. This looks like a beginning. It feels like one, he said. Alara looked up at him slowly. Not smiling, not joking, just real. Good night, Adrian. Good night, Alara. She turned and walked into her building. For the first time in months, Adrian felt hope. The next evening, something pulled him back to Moonlit Corner. He wasn't expecting her. But when he entered the cafe, there she was, sitting in the same booth, scarf on the seat beside her, warm drink in hand. She looked up. Fire. Soft. Warm. You came, she said simply. So did you. They fell into conversation again, effortlessly, naturally, like they had known each other longer than a day. They laughed more tonight, shared stories, sometimes sat in silence, but a comfortable silence. By the third night, they were no longer strangers. They walked the city together, Chelsea Market, the High Line, Bryant Park. Their hands brushed so many times it felt intentional. By the fourth night, Adrian finally reached for her hand, and she didn't pull away. By the fifth night, she asked, Adrian, do you think we met for a reason? He squeezed her hand softly. Yes. By the sixth night, she told him she woke up thinking about him. By the seventh night, he realized he had fallen for her completely. And by the eighth night, standing under the sparkling lights of Rockefeller Center, he told her. Alara, he whispered, you're the fire that woke me up. Her breath trembled. And you, she whispered back, are the calm I didn't know I needed. Snow fell around them like blessings. Their story had just begun. A story born in New York. A story written in fire. A story glowing in her eyes. New York nights. And the fire that changed.